Hey guys, this is Stu from Stuart Scale Models, and I just thought I'd give you an update on my one of my current projects, which is my entry into the Warren Blanch tribute buddy build. As you well know, I'm actually building a little mini diorama of the 148th V1 missile on an actual launch ramp, and as you can see here, it's fully built. And it's also mounted on the actual diorama base as well, which is a 8x11 frame, picture frame. It's a beautifully built kit once it's actually assembled. It's made of 2-ply board. It's made by a company called Sarissa Precision. Now, someone did ask me in the last video whether I would leave a link. Now, unfortunately, I'm fairly technical minded on IT, but I'm not that technically minded, I'm afraid, guy, and I haven't got a clue how to do it. So what I would suggest, if anybody's particularly interested in getting hold of this, if they've got a V1 in their stash, in 1/48 of Tamiya's, then I would suggest you look up Sarissa Precisions via Google, or even look it out on eBay, which is where I sourced this one from. It's relatively cheap. I think it's only about, what, £14.95 free postage. Well, that's how much I paid for mine anyway. It comes on a backing board, and then basically you just very gently put some pressure on it and remove the parts. But I would say it's very strongly that you do it very, very carefully, particularly where you've got some sub-assembly frames which hold these girders in place, and these girders, as you can see here, actually come in 2 halves. So when you actually take them off the backing card, be extremely gentle with them, alright, otherwise you can end up snapping them. But as I say, once you actually put the 2 halves together and then assemble it and it clicks into place, it's extremely sturdy and extremely strong, and I've actually got it glued down with some PVA on the base now. Initially I tried PVA, but I had a bit of a disaster with this initial section here, so I ended up using the old super glue. It's also a good filler as well. It is a bit of a snug fitting part, so I will give you fair warning, but if you're patient and you persevere, you will get there. However, it is a bit sparse on detail, because I've actually been doing some research online with various pictures of preserved examples, and some take the time on here. Now if I move the camera around, you can see for yourself. Now you'll have to excuse me if it's at an angle, so in fact I'll try and straighten the camera up for you guys. Move that down a bit, there we go. Because I want to make it look as authentic as possible. Now I've got various ideas, and I just found out they did actually have a trestle where they used to mount the actual piston, which you see, hang on if I get the mouse here, that would be jacked up into there onto the cradle, which it would be connected to. Obviously they would fire up the engine on the V1, and then it was a bit like a steam catapult, an aircraft carrier that would be shot up the ramp with the missile in tow on the actual cradle, and obviously it would release at the end, firing the missile into the air. Now I could build this cradle and scratch build it, but I've decided not to, because it would just lengthen the time of this build, so I've left it off, to be honest with you. However, the actual ramp itself, as you can see, comes in various subsections and girders right here. So what I'm going to have to use for that is some plastic card, I think, because I've got some various bits of screw. Which I've got here, this stuff. So I will glue that onto the side of the actual launch ramp, which I've actually got in kit form here. Now the actual scene, I've got a variety of launch sites on here. I mean, I could go for an option like this, where you got flat base and you got your control room right here, and then obviously you've got all your woodland around it. I might go for that option, I don't know. I've seen various kits that have been built here. This is another option where you've got protective walls, concrete walls at the launch site. That is another option, possibly. I don't know. I'm weighing it up at the moment, because they all varied wherever they were stationed. I mean, they weren't only dotted at Peenemünde, they were dotted all over southern and northern France, some in Poland, some in Denmark, you name it, they were everywhere in occupied Europe, but mainly in France. And another option is possibly this one, because if you notice, you've got two raised banks either side here, via the launch ramp. I could possibly use some styrene, this sort of stuff. Hang on, if I move this camera around, I could use this stuff just to build up the layers, etc. Some old packing. Only thing is, I haven't got anything to cut it with, so what I would ask anybody, I know you can get some cutters to shape these, heated cutters. Can you, if anybody has got a site they know of where I can get hold of this, can they just leave a link in the comments column, please? Because that would be very, very helpful, not only for this project, but for any future projects I'm thinking of doing. Because I haven't got a clue, really. And it would be very, very helpful if you could do that for me, guys. So if anybody can help me out, I know you guys will, because I'm trying to do as much research on this project as possible. Let's lower the camera down again so it's at a right angle. There we go. Sorry, I've got that in the way. But as I say, the actual kit itself is overall is very impressive. I mean, the length of it and the height of it is extremely impressive. I mean, if I move the camera stand down, it'd probably go out of focus, but look at the size of it. I mean, that's an 8x11 frame, right? This is the length of my arm. Yeah. Look, that's how big this thing is. It's very impressive. As I say, it's a bit sparse on detail, which is why I'm going to do some little scratch building on it before I get it painted up. And then obviously I'm going to make my mind up as to what I'm going to do for the base. I may do two bank sides either side. May get some more plastic hard just to give it some of the sort of paving effect, as it were. I am going to leave the trolley either this side or the other side as though they've just loaded it onto the actual ramp, and then obviously they're getting ready to load the other one as soon as this has been fired. Sorry if it's going out of focus again, guys. I'm sort of umming and ahhing over what to do with this project at this moment in time, but I mean, as I say, overall, once you get it actually on their base, it's very, very sturdy. I mean, look how solid this is. As I say, it does look absolutely impressive. I mean, if I turn it around the other way, there we go. And do it from that angle, you get more of an authentic shot. You know, it just looks so impressive. And I must admit, I can't wait to get this thing finished now. It's really got my mojo going on this project. But as I say, it's not going to be done overnight, this project. I mean, I've got plenty of time. Everybody else has who's going to get involved in this, you know. Because I know Frankie Day's doing the Canberra bomber. And I'm glad you come aboard, Frankie. That's very, very kind of you. I know particularly for you because Warren's a good friend of yours. But I thought this would be an unusual sort of project to do. And it's something I haven't done before. It's a different medium, so you know, it might expand my knowledge in modelling, as it were. So it's something outside the box for me, really, in terms of the material that I'm using for this. And obviously, I haven't quite made my mind up what I want to do, because I mean, as I say, I've got various ideas on here to look at, and as I say, here's an authentic photo of a V1 launch site, as you can see here. Again, you've got the trestle here, there's the launch ramp, you've got the woodland all around it, because obviously they were trying to make it as hard as possible for low flying aircraft to see it, or you know, if they were on an attack run, a strafing run. See if I can find anything else. Now there's one there, I think, where they'd actually put some camouflage netting over it. Ah, here we go. See if we can find it. Where did I see it? Oh, this is an interesting one. Yeah, this is another one that a guy's done. This is in 176th with the launch rail. Hang on, I wonder if I can expand on that. Is he going to let me do it? No, he's not going to let me do it. Oh, hang on. No. No, it's not. It's just gone basically onto the main page. Let's go back. Damn, I can't get back. Come on. Oh, it's going slow. Isn't that a surprise? Well, wonders of modern technology, guys. Right, where were we? Sorry about this. Sometimes this computer does tend to lag a bit, so bear with me. Oh, come on. I wouldn't mind, but I've got a holiday in July. Sorry about that. I was only joking. I was being a bit sarcastic there, but hey. Oh, don't you just love technology sometimes? Oh, here we go. I think it's... Here we go. Let's go down a bit. I was sure I came across a photograph whereby they actually have one camouflaged. Let me see. Right, oh, it's gone back up again, bear with us. Well, let's see if we can find something. Hang on. No. So you got so many archive images here you can actually sort of work from. Oh, and here's another prime example where somebody's actually done a photograph, a model, sorry. Hang on, where are we? See if I can find another one, guys. Hang on. There you go. They've actually got one here where they've built up concrete barriers either side, and you've got the launch ramp, and then you've got obviously all the surrounding countryside with it. Now that might be an option I might possibly go for, but obviously because with this vignette that would restrict me. So the nearest example I might well go for is if we go back. Okay, let's click onto images. Ah, this is the one I was referring to just now. Right, sorry about it, guys. It's just lagging a bit, so you'll have to bear with me a second. There we go. If you notice here, they've actually got camouflage netting on the actual launch ramp itself. So that's another option. That would make that quite interesting. Let's go back again. Oh, I can hear it snoring now. And oh, it's gone straight back to Google. Would you believe it? Oh, don't you just love technology? Right, bear with me, I've just got to punch this in again. There we go. Right. There we go. Right, now. This is an option, which might be more the option I'm going to go for. This is a preserved example of a preserved site. Either side, you've got earth barriers. Now obviously that was designed to stop any of the aircraft from spotting any V1 ramps. So I may well go for that option, and if you'll get a better view of it, you can see here it's built up earth either side. Now that might be another option I could go for. Hence, really, what I might well do in that case is use some polyester, well, use this styrene and build it up either side of the ramp, which is possibly the option I'm really going to go for. And that'll make it an added interest, really. So the only thing I haven't got, as I say, is one of those heated cutters. So if any of you guys do know of a source, if you would like to leave a link for me in the comments column, I'll be very, very grateful. Not only for this project, but for any other projects that I'm going to do. As I say, it's various options I'm sort of weighing up as to what to do. There you go. So that's where we are at the moment, guys. As I say, this is a long-term project. It's not going to be done overnight. I'm just at the planning stage of trying to decide how I'm actually going to proceed with the scene. I mean, I'm going to leave the trolley in here as though it's actually just been loaded up onto the actual ramp, and once that's fired, they're going to go and collect another one and get that fired. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.